What is up, YouTube? Hey everybody, it has been a minute since I have done any work on my boat, and I have got to get some work done on this boat. I will show you what I'm working on right now. This is what the problem has been. When I've taken it out a couple of times, it will not get on plane. I know it could be that I don't have a powerful enough motor. This is only a 16-foot aluminum boat. It's not very heavy. I've got a 25 horsepower on it. I kind of expected it to be on plane, and it won't do it. When somebody moves up to the front while it's going, it drops right down. And originally, when this boat was built, the seats and the steering wheel, actually the steering wheel was right there. It wasn't on there when I bought this boat, but that's where the steering wheel was. So people sat way up here instead of back here. And of course I built it like I wanted to build it, like a, you know, bass boat, fishing boat, whatever, tiny boat. And it just won't plane. So what I'm going to do is add some weight up front. I know it's probably not the best way to do it, but I've heard a couple of people say that they had to do that when they've added like extra batteries, or they've added talons on the back of their boats and stuff like that, which I'm not going to do, but I need more weight. So I figure I'm going to just start with 100 pounds of weight. I didn't want to put concrete blocks and stuff like that in it, and I don't know if this is the best option, but I'm just going to use some 2 bags of sand. These weigh almost 50 pounds a piece, so it's going to give me 100 pounds of weight up front. The hard part's going to be getting underneath the deck. Getting the deck off is not that hard. Getting under it and getting under there to do the work and put it in there is going to be a little troublesome potentially. That's the plan. I put something around. There's a platform under. If you've seen any of the other videos where I was working on this, there is a platform up there. So it's not just going all the way down to the V part. You can see this V's at the bottom, the very front. So what I'm going to try to do is get something just like a little frame built in that I can put the sandbags up there in the front, and then hopefully when I take it back out, it'll plane. That's job number 1. Job number 2, I have to get back on working on the motor height. I tried to put in like a plate to elevate it a little bit. It did not work the way I wanted it to. It is kind of janky and I don't like it, and I don't think it's probably very safe either. So I've got to redo that, and I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm gonna have to redo it. Probably gonna have to just cut it down a little bit because I just don't have, it's just not grabbing the way it should, and there's a gap there as you can see. But cavitation plate should be lower, and I know I've read a bunch of stuff about it. Cavitation plate should be even with the bottom of the boat from what I've heard. So that's what I'm going to try to do. That's the weekend project. Here we go. So something kind of funny, at least to me it was. I haven't had this boat out in months. I mean months. And I got my cord here. I'm going to charge my batteries up. And I went to move the pedal for my trolling motor to get it up off the deck so I can get down in there. And when I bumped it, it started turning the prop. I don't know how these batteries are still charged, but I'm glad they are. Probably not very much charged, so I'll be charging those up overnight. Almost impossible. I I honestly don't know how I'm going to get anything back in there. I may have to put everything just right, where am I pointing? Right there. Somehow, because my openings are not very big, if I can get a sandbag through here without it ripping and tearing and falling apart. I was going to put it up on that. Oh, you know what? That's flat, but it angles up first and then it goes flat. So that's not going to work. I'm just going to have to put them right here in the bottom somehow, and if I can fit them in. I'm going to try to put something on top so that if water gets in, it'll still go under. There's ribs. I don't know if I can show you this or not, if you can see them. So you can see how there's an elevated, there's little ridges here. They've got holes in them that aren't very good, but there are holes in them. There's a hole up there for the water to drain all the way back to the back. So I'm going to try to put a board in there maybe. I don't know if I can get it. Yeah, there's not a way to do that, I don't think. But I'm going to try to put something in there to help it so that it doesn't just, water doesn't just get there and it doesn't just clog up the holes in case they are halfway working. Man, I got a lot of work to do. Alright, so I took out one of my buckets that was in the back for storage and stuff, and I've just laid a piece of PVC in between it, and I'm going to put the two pieces, or the two bags, through the hole because it'd be easier, it's smoother. I probably won't cut it open. We're just going to do that. Do it. Not breaking something, as in me. Yeah, almost broke my wrist. That was a good start. I'm a little heavy on this side when you're driving if you're by yourself. Trolling motor's on this side. Gas tank's on this side. I may push these a little left just to help balance it a little bit, but we'll see. Alright. Get the other one in here. I'll try to lean it against the front a little better. Oh, crap. That's heavy. That was painful. Alright, got it back on. Just gonna put a few screws in it. Hold it in place better. Instead of the way I had it before. Before I had it screwed in from the bottom. That's just a beast to actually get out. If you need to take one out. Alright, that's good. I'll put one more here, and then I'll put a couple up on the top, and then we're good. Get her done. Well, that part was easier than I thought. Hopefully that'll work, and I'll be able to get the weight up front that I need to be able to keep everything moving and maybe get on a plane, or at least a little bit better. And then now I gotta work on this motor. All right, so there it is, the plate that I made. Again, because of the, I didn't measure the thickness of the actual clamps, I guess. I don't know exactly what you call them. So just the motor mounts, or the clamps that go, that tighten up, and it wouldn't fit this and this thickness in between it. So I've got to either drop this down or redo this plate somehow so that it'll go down. I need to go down about 2.5 inches. I put a level on the bottom of the cavitation plate, put it up against the boat. I've got my motor all the way in, which is what I was told I was supposed to do from multiple people. So I got to go down 2.5 inches, which is more than this gap, but I also have to get the actual screw connector things to go down on the other side of this. Let's see if I can figure this out. Okay, so I just took the whole plate off. I'm gonna have to put the bolts back in so that water doesn't come in, but I'll caulk those, seal them off, put the bolts back in where I had the big plate in it. And I've got it setting on top of this aluminum, this angle aluminum. Looks like it's holding pretty good. I've got, and that aluminum is reinforced on the other side of it, which was on it originally. So that's what it's sitting on. Got it clamped down. I may have to put a few more kind of screws or bolts or something through here. Kind of make sure that it's actually in place really well, and it's not going to bend backwards and bend up and just fall off. It is, the clamps are clamping onto part of this other side of the bracket that's kind of in here. So right in there, you might be able to see that. So it's actually clamping onto that. I don't know if it matters if that's level or not, but it is grabbing hold of that, which is connected to that. Oops, sorry, connected to that. And I think I'm going to clamp it down so that that one's down a little further, so it'll actually hold on better, and then hopefully it won't bend out just because of the pressure up against it. I probably should have put a board or something in between, kind of here maybe, to hold it out a little bit, but I put the level on it, and the level comes out just right as far as where the cavitation plate is. It's kind of hard to see from this angle, but that's right about at the bottom when I put the level underneath it. So I'm going to try it. Hopefully I can take it out tomorrow. I'm just going to get it tightened up a little more, and once I get it tightened up, just got to do a couple more things to it to make sure I'm kind of ready to roll, and we'll see what she'll do.